Welcome, fellow enthusiast. May I say, you look a bit down on your luck. Well, it was a rough week, I suppose. And if you're watching this at the start of a new week, trust me, it will be. So how about a drink or two? I can mix something up that, for a brief moment in time, will let you forget all your sorrows. And while I'm at it, maybe this is of interest to you. Alright then, my first foray into the Pop-Up Parade L line, so I'm pretty excited to unpack Jill, but first let's check out this figure's box. Haptic wise, it's a flimsy one. Where the normal Pop-Up Parade figures have those stylish see-through boxes, this really looks and feels like a large version of a prize figure from an arcade. But it's a bit of a shame because design-wise those dark red and purple colors really do pop, no pun intended. It is also a windowless box providing plenty of space that is not really utilized, neither on this side nor the back side. In my opinion, those figure photos could have been much more prominent. I also don't know if size and overall design stays the same within the line, but in Jill's case, this large L on one side does look like she's wearing a backpack, like for an instrument or a rifle. The tagline in front says, "Presenting Pop-Up Parade figures, now in a larger size. Pop-Up Parade is bringing figure fans a brand new sense of excitement with the L line." Well, that's a mouthful. I'm also curious how long it will be stated as a brand new line, but yeah, this is basically Good Smile's version of a prize figure. Inside the box we have a plastic blister with two full-sized shells, and indeed, the figure is almost as tall as the box would suggest. The blister also holds this black base that is not totally solid but rather a bit translucent. It has those metal packs that are good quality. Jill's feet slid on them without any issues. But now, since we unboxed and mounted her, you might be curious, how tall is a large Pop-Up Parade figure and is it a good price to size ratio? To answer this question, let me do some math. The size of the figure is stated to be 24 cm and the MSRP is listed with 8,000 yen. Or in other words, 333.33 yen periodic per centimeter of figure. But let's face it, 8,000 yen is just her base price and you most likely will end up paying much more than that. Where I live, Jill is currently listed online for around 85 euros, including taxes and shipping, so that would bring up the price to around 3.5 euro for each centimeter of figure. That puts Jill right here compared to other current releases. What? You tell me you never calculated the CPC, cost per centimeter of a figure, in order to determine if it's good value or not? Oh, you're more of a cost per gram of PVC guy, eh? No? Well, then I have to compare apples with onions as a last resort? Okay, this is our large Jill. This is Tiny Nendo Jill. Tiny Jill fits into large Jill by a total of 2.45. The Jill Nendo had an MSRP of 6,636 yen. This times 2.45 is 16,258 yen, what translates roughly to an increase of 103% compared to Good Smile's budget figure line. Or in other words, so if you are a fan of this character and up to this point only get to choose between those two official releases, from an economic point of view it makes much more sense to buy this larger version. But how does she hold up in general? Because over time the Pop-Up Parade brand got a bit of a reputation for being bad quality and therefore too expensive, even compared by price figure standards. Luckily, I have to report that I really can't see any major issues here. In my opinion, this is a very solid version of Jill Stingray. First, I love that they bothered to let her wear her red coat in addition to the iconic bartender uniform. They could have easily just gave her the same outfit as the Nendo with the exact same pose and people would have bought her regardless. But they didn't. Not only does the coat provide a nice contrast, it also adds a lot more details in the form of buttons, lashes and folds. Only the fluff part around her waist is sculpted a bit too extreme because this does not look like the fleece part of a coat, but rather a boa or, based on their shape, a bunch of bananas. What? You don't see it? Let me prove this to you. Hey Grok, take this image and replace the white part around her waist with the texture of bananas. See? I'm not crazy? Okay, but other than that I really have no complaints. There are even some smaller details like the fact that her cigarette is not just a white stick but has a brown filter and even a grey top to represent the filling. Or that they decided to have this ear piercing visible. Also those tiny folds on the backside of her vest, this would not be missed if it wasn't there, but it is. Even the hair is competently molded and together with her mix of stoic and melancholic expression, this does represent the character very well. One of the criticisms of pop-up figures when compared to other entry-level lines is their lack of dynamic poses. This might be true and Jill here is also not captured in a moment while doing anything crazy, but for a character like her, this is a total natural and fitting depiction. Also, you can still feel that this is a prize figure and therefore has this soft and squishy texture to it, especially her coat. But then again, this might not be such a negative thing, especially if you are a person who tends to handle their figure a bit rougher, for example when taking pictures of them. Or try to set them up without a base just to prove that this is once again a figure that technically can stand on their own. But I would only advise this for short periods of time on a total level surface. I also like that the figure to base ratio is as small as it can be, so that for a figure that large, Jill has a very small footprint, making her fit even on some narrower display spots. Would I have preferred a less oppressive base rather than this hockey puck? Well, I guess it depends where you want to put her. On a black desk this might not look that bad, but then again in a typical white shelf or glass showcase, a minimalistic acrylic plate like in the promotional pictures would have looked far better. Finally, for a sub €100 figure, the paint job is also quite good with almost no defects. My copy only had some very tiny specks of red on her white sleeve. All in all, a very solid release, and if this is the level of quality within the L line of Pop-Up Parade, I might consider buying them more often. Because nowadays it's not so common to find taller figures that don't have an elaborate base design to justify crazy high prices. And isn't it cool that we reached a point in time where even a relatively unknown IP like Valhalla can have some cool merch? When I discovered this game a couple years ago while browsing the Nintendo eShop, I would have never thought that someday there will be a Jill figure like this. But, you know, sometimes being an enjoyer of obscure and niche stuff is rewarded, and a release like this makes me far happier than yet another iteration of a super popular character. Speaking of which, next time we will check out this adorable version of Miku as a Nendo doll. Until then, take care out there and keep having fun collecting. Also, didn't that guy promise me a drink or something? Oh, yeah. It took a while to prepare, but I mixed up something special for you. Surf's up. Really? All that build-up for a can of beer. It is her favorite drink after all. Oh well, guess it's better than nothing. Wait, didn't it just violently shake that thing?